All right, shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem and Kakwadash. I want to say and give double honors to the apostles and the bishop elders of Great Millstone for teaching us this word in truth and sincerity and for ruling well. Salutations to the elect. Lord willing, we're some of those men and those women, those few women that also believe and fear in the name of Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. I'm your brother Gabar Yahweh from GMS Hawaii, coming to you with another quick lesson. And this lesson was inspired by this video that you see right here in front of you. It's an older camp video that I found on TikTok, and it's the Bishop Karab having an interaction with an Israelite who looked like he from the other nations, but you could clearly see that this man is an Israelite. And what made me want to do a lesson on it was the fact that you're going to have Israelites, when the apostles and the bishop elders teaches us that you're going to have Israelites looking like the other nations. This is what they mean by this, okay? And they may not even be, obviously acting like the typical or stereotypical Jake, but they go back to our people on their father's side because that's what matters, all right? And like these Jays, these small hats in our land, they go off the matrilineal side, right? That's what makes them a Jew according to them. Matter of fact, hold on. So I looked it up. According to AI overview, Google AI overview, I type, does the father make the child Jewish or the mother? It says whether the child is considered Jewish depends on the branch of Judaism and the child's parents' religious beliefs. Orthodox Judaism, these branches follow the matrilineal descent, meaning that the child considered Jewish if they are born of a Jewish mother, and that's not true. According to the Bible, you are what your father is, right? This is Numbers 1:18. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names from the 12 years old upward by their posts, because our forefathers make up our forefathers, the patriarchs that Jacob had, right? His sons who become the patriarchs of the 12 tribes of Israel, they were all men, right? Dinah, we had an aunt, her name was Dinah, but she didn't have no tribe. So how could you be an Israelite according to your mother's line? It don't make no sense. And it's all about the father because the man carries the seed, right? Right? And the seed shall and thy seed shall, this is the book of Romans, I believe it's in Romans, right? Because it's all about the seed, right? It's not about the egg, all right? The egg doesn't matter, right? This is the book of Romans, chapter 9, verse 7. It says, neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. And Jacob came out of the loins of Isaac. All right, Jacob and Esau. Well, Esau and Jacob came out of Isaac's loins, but the promise, the seed of the promise, was with Jacob. All right, it wasn't with Esau. Right, it didn't mention nothing about Esau and Jacob's sisters, and neither does the seed. The seed is not of the woman; it's of the man. It says so again. It says neither because they are the seed of Abraham are they all children, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called. That is, they which are the children of the flesh, these are not the children of the Most High, but the children of the promise are counted for the seed. Right, and we know that the promise went to Jacob and then his 12 sons. All right, and that's what makes you an Israelite. Right, what these so-called J's, these small hats teach, this is off and it's confusion. Right, it says so according to halakha, the recognition of someone is as fully Jewish requires them to have been born of a Jewish mother. But you're going to see in this video that clearly this brother right here, his mom, even his father could have been look like a so-called Chinese, right? But he goes back to Jake, and you can tell by his spirit, right? Because again, we was well, I didn't say it already, but we were scattered amongst the four winds of the earth into all nations that are upon the earth, right? And we didn't just stay looking like the stereotypical Jake, like Apostle Gabar teaches us. Not every Israelite is going to look like John Shaft or John Lake Wazama, right? Richard Roundtree or John Lake Wazama, which those would be stereotypical Israelite visage phenotypes. But you're gonna have Israelites looking like this. Just bear with me. I'm trying to play it. Salakia. Salakia about that. I had a little problem, but check this out.
And they don't care about it. And they don't care about it. You just a high. When the brother makes the move, the white nigga step back. Yeah. Well, you know, yeah, this is Ecclesiastes T verse 16. Sources according to and a man will lead to his life. Right, a man will you go to all right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, like the elder said, you go to people that you're accustomed to. You know, our spirits are likened unto each other. All right. So that's why you'll see Jake's convert and converse with Jake, and you'll see the other heathens, they hang with each other, they deal with each other. Only in this Western society they push this so-called universalism, where they try to teach that everybody's the same because we supposed to all be so-called humans, right? So according to them, we're all the same, but we're not all the same. The Lord made a difference in the nations, all right? And it goes deeper than your outer complexion. It goes deeper than your phenotypical uh expressions, all right? It goes to the spirit. So let me play that again.
Because T verse 16. Sources according to and a man will lead to his life. Right, a man will you go to spiritually accustomed. All right? Look, you may look, right? But your whole body, what do you identify with? All right, same thing we identify with. Exactly, because that's who you are. So it goes. He said how you look, but you got a lot of people don't look. Right. So, but down. Don't get me wrong. They might not. Some of them are. You ever heard of China Mac? China Mac is China Mac. So China. Some of them.
Yeah, see, you see, but a person who not looking spiritual, a person who don't see things with a spiritual eye, will assume that this man was a so-called Chinese or Japanese man. I believe, you know, his people go back to some of his relatives go back to Japan, and he kind of looked like one. But you can tell all of his spirit, he's an Israelite, bro. You close your eyes, it's like hearing two so-called black men talk, right? And you open your eyes up and you see this man, right? You're like, damn, wait a minute, hold up. Some people try to say, oh, you know, he posing. No, this is this man's spirit. And when you watch the video, you know, the brother, he catching hell, man. He's under them curses like a motherfucker, you know? So that's a sign. This is Romans 8:16. The spirit itself bears witness with our spirit that we are the children or the sons of the Most High, right? The spirit of the Most High, it bears witness with our spirit that we are the sons of the Most High. And you can tell when you see an Israelite who look like the other nations, if you got spiritual discernment. You can tell that he one of us, man. You know, whether it be through the Heavenly Father's gift that he gives a man or a woman through the spirit of his son, or whether it's his mannerisms, his or her mannerisms, you can tell in the spirit that this dude's one of us. And there's a lot of Israelites scattered amongst Moab and Ammon, right? There's a lot of Israelites scattered amongst Japheth. Shit, there's a lot of Israelites scattered amongst Esau. See, Esau taught us in this world, it's all about what how man thinks about the outer appearance. But we are taught through the spirit of Yahweh Shemel Shai. It's about the enemy. This is 1 Samuel 16:7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai seeth not as man seeth. For man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord Yahweh Bashim Shai looketh on the heart, looketh on the mind, because that's where your spirit dwell at, and that's who you are. All right, and your spirit is likened unto other spirits that are similar to its own. Like even in that, even the Most High didn't make everybody's spirit the same. He didn't make every nation's spirit the same. Every nation got their own spirit, and you could tell. All right. So the Lord, he don't look on man from the outer appearance like man do. And you can tell that we live in a society where you're judged on the outer appearance all the time. Before you even open your mouth as a so-called Black, Latino, Native American person, you already stereotyped. People already have a preconceived notion of who you are, what you're about, and what you think, right? Likewise, when you see people you think are so-called Asian or so-called white, they have their perceptions that they automatically are given until you can see what the spirit's on them, right? And this is to let you know that, hey man, it's going to be a lot of Israelites coming out of these different nations, a whole lot, right? America's going to be the place of great deliverance, right? And you're going to have Israelites that look like the stereotypical Israelite, so-called Black, Latino, Native American, but you also going to have a gang of Israelites looking like the other nations, man. And this is an example of that.
I know. Yeah. It's all about your seed. All right. It don't matter how you look, because your father, like you said, your father's Puerto Rican.
You see? So this dude's an Ephraimite. This man's an Ephraimite, but his mama was a so-called Japanese woman. But he looked like his mother, right? Just like what's my Solomon's son, Rehoboam. His mother was an Ammonitish woman. His mother was an Ammonitish woman, right? Ammon, Salaki. His mother was an Ammonitish woman. Salaki. So this is 1 Kings 14:21. It says Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city which the Lord Yahweh did choose out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. And his mother's name was Naamah, an Ammonitess, man. So here it is. His mom was a princess from Ammon, right? Because King Solomon married women from other nations, right? So here it is. When Rehoboam, he looked what you would call half Japanese today, not the stereotypical one because they were darker back then. But his mother was an Ammonitish woman, right? That word there, Ammonitis, is I ma na ya or Ammonitis, a Ammon tribal, right? A woman of Ammon. So even back then, our forefathers, they dealt with the women of the other nations, right? The reason why the Lord told us not to deal with the women of other nations back then was because us loving these women will turn our heart from the Most High, and we end up worshiping their idols. And that's what ultimately happened to King Solomon in his old age. But nonetheless, it happens today where men of Israel marry women of the other nations. Here's another example. Here's another example. This is an Israelite man, a so-called Negro man, and this is his wife. She's a so-called East Indian woman, right? And these are their children. Okay. I think they got like 8 kids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. God damn. So this dude had a whole tribe with this woman, bro. And he got a whole bunch of sons. Now, what if his sons are likened to women of their mothers. I don't know if this is a daughter or not. Like a girl. Oh, this is a girl. So he had a bunch of sons. What if his sons end up dating East Indian women, huh? And then what? What's going to happen? They're going to start looking more and more like their mother. And then they got a lot of them got their mother's phenotype. Most of them look like their dad. That they got that Israelite look to them, but they got that Israelite look to them with that heathen look to them, man. Right? But guess what? All these are Israelites, and I'm not sure about the mother, but she probably is too. She's so likened unto this man, you know. But these are Israelites, right? This is done when they were children, you know. This is done when they were kids. 2, 4, 6, 8, 8 of them. God damn, that's a tribe, man. You see, and she would look like you put her in India today. She would look like a so-called East Indian girl. But guess what? These are Israelites, man. Unlike Kamala over Harris, these are Israelites right here. Why are they Israelites? Because their father's an Israelite. Whether he recognizes it or not, he's an Israelite, right? So going back to this brother right here, his mom is a so-called Japanese woman, but his dad is a so-called Puerto Rican. But he came out looking more like his mother's race, right? But guess what? This is an Israelite. My man say, even my credit score fucked up. Yeah, because Jake, we start out with in a negative one side, bro.
He's part of us too, man. I know.
And guess what? Even if your father don't look like a stereotypical Puerto Rican, guess what? You got Israelites that look straight up Chinese, but guess what? They're Israelites and they have sons like China Mac dad. You look at China Mac, the elder had mentioned China Mac, right? And his dad from back in the day, this dude right here. This is China Mac right here. He looked like a so-called Chinese dude, right? But this, you can tell his spirit that he's an Israelite. You can tell in his spirit that he's Israelite. This is his dad, and this is mom. And his dad even looked like an Israelite. He got that look at his spirit. This ain't no Chinese spirit. Even the elder had mentioned Jin, because both of them was beefing. The curses. They was both beefing with each other, right? And I think he shot the dude China Mac, shot Jin's homeboy in the head, bro. Something like that. He might have caught a body, and he went to prison. But guess what? This dude's an Israelite. This is him. This is his father right here. No, that's Evan Gonzalez Salaki. That ain't his father. Salaki. This is father right here. Where's that picture at? Yeah, this is Pops right here. You know what I'm saying? And his dad, you could tell in his spirit that, this dude ain't no Chinese dude, man. This dude is an Israelite, man. Right? And you're gonna have Israelites brought up out of these different nations where they were scattered. This is the book of Revelation 7 and 9. After this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which no man could number, of all the nations and kindreds and people and tongues, and stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hand. Why is that? And this is after you read about the governing body, the 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes of Israel, which make up the 144,000. Behind them, you had the mixed multitude. It was a great multitude of Israelites that were called out from all nations. Now, Christians use this verse and try to say, look, see, that means salvation is for everybody. The one you originally called God and Jesus is for everybody. Look at all these different nations and tongues. Nah, these are Israelites that were scattered amongst these different nations that were pulled out, right? You got Israelites that never left these other lands that our forefathers were at. And their mothers had them, and they had children with their mother's nationality, and then they kept having children. So eventually it gets diluted and you end up looking like this. But the whole time, this dude's an Israelite. And this go for every nation. Shit, even Amalek. You got Israelites among Amalek. Okay? Where's that precept? Salakia. Revelation 7 and 9. I want to get another one. This is Ezekiel chapter 37, verse 21. And say unto them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, behold, I will take the children of Israel from among the heathen, whither they be gone, and will gather them on every side and bring them into their own land. So the Lord scattered us amongst all the heathen, and He gonna go back into these heathens and pull up the elect of Israel from up out of there, man. And how's He doing that? With the word, gathering us with the word. And ultimately, when the chariots come, okay, you're gonna see chariots over all these nations pulling Israelites from out of these nations, and they're gonna be looking like the other nations. But guess what? We're Israelites because we were scattered to the nations for a curse. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 62. And ye shall be left few in number, whereas ye were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of the Lord thy God. And it shall come to pass that the Lord, as the Lord rejoice over you to do good and to multiply you, so Yahweh Bashem Shai will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught. And ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from among, let me read that again. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. You see, so that was a curse. So remember, the Lord's going to lift the curses up off of us. So one of them curses going to lift up off of us is bringing us out of these nations, right? In the NLT, it says, for the Yahweh will scatter you among all the nations from one end of the earth even to the other. There you will worship foreign gods that neither you nor your ancestors have known, gods made of wood and stone. And that's what Jake is doing over there. And these other nations, they're worshiping idols. Shit, we always doing it. Even over here, right? Even over here. Okay. But guess what? The Lord's gonna bring us up out of that. Um, um, let me see it. This is the book of Isaiah. What was it, Isaiah? And it shall be Egypt. Just bear with me, brothers. Just bear with me. Um, just bear with me. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 11, verse 11. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand, it says the restored remnant, right? Because the remnant is coming up out of these nations, right? And not only up out of these nations, out of here in America, because this ain't our land either. And we were scattered over here through what? Slavery, through colonialism, through the taking of the Americas, and we were scattered even more. Even we've been scattered, but even more so uh, after that slavery, that transatlantic slave trade happened, right? But this is for a reason, so we can be delivered from here, because this is where we're going to be delivered from. So it says, Isaiah 11 and 11, and it shall come to pass that, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria and from Egypt and from Pathros and from Cush and from Elam and from Shinar and from Hamath and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. You see? So we're in every nation. We're scattered everywhere. Okay? And like this says right here, this man is an Israelite. It was never about appearance. It was never about how you look. Right? The Lord is going to deliver his people. And he's bringing us together via the word. I'll get that. I know it's in Baruch. Um, Yup, Baruch 4:37. Brother Kahan brings out a lot. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 37. Baruch 4 and 37. It says, Lo, thy sons come whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together, because it starts with the sons of Israel, right? And you're going to have the daughters of Israel too. But it says, Lo, thy sons come whom thou sentest away. They come gathered together from the east to the west by the word of the Holy One, rejoicing in the glory of the Most High, right? And that's what's bringing us together. Like this brother right here, he was receiving a word. I don't know where he's at today. You know, I hope the Lord have mercy on him. But guess what? He heard that word, and from that point on, if he's part of the elect, he was sealed. And it was the word that drew him in through the Spirit. It was the Spirit of the Lord that led him to the camp that day, and then he was edified.
And see, all right, where your father comes from. It don't matter how because your father, like you said, your father's Puerto Rican. He married a Japanese woman. My name is Angel. It don't Give my credit score from. Yeah. They're not thinking that. They're thinking you're going to say Yakamoto and stuff. But when they see me, they're smart.
Yeah, they say he looks smart because he looks so-called Japanese. And that's a stereotype that they get of Japanese, but they ain't smart. You know, I ain't saying that you don't have intelligent people amongst them, but that's just a stereotype. But this man's an Israelite, right? And he's intelligent.
But then they see your vibe like, when I went to the second one, when I first went up, yeah, because I had to put my government. Right. They thought I was lying. Right. That's like, you know,
Yeah, you see? And that's an Israelite catching nothing but hell, man. You know what I mean? But guess what? Just like he catch the hell, he gonna catch them blessings, man. Because he's an Israelite. And this is what a lot of people who are against this word and against Yahweh Shema Shai, most importantly, this is what they cannot see. They can't see that this word is not for the whole world, but it's for the world of Israel, right? Yahweh Shai came and sacrificed his life for the sons and daughters of Israel, all right? He raised up the apostles, including Apostle Paul, right? Who went and spoke to the Israelites that were scattered amongst the known world at that time, pretty much the Hellenistic world, because you had Israelites taking on the customs and dealing with the women of these nations, having children with these other nations. But guess what? They're still Israelites. And in the kingdom of heaven, we're going to deal with these women of other nations. That's going to be a prerogative, a preference that only the kings can have. These other nations are going to be able to do that. But we're going to be able to do that, and we're going to have children. But guess what? Them children going to be Israelites, and they're going to know that they're Israelites, right? It ain't going to be a doubt about that. They ain't going to look like they ain't going to have that heathen look. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. Because guess what? This is punishment too. This is punishment too. You know what I mean? We wanted to act like heathens, be like heathens. Shit. The Most High made us look like heathens, right? He made us look like Japhet. He made us look like all these different nations. But guess what? These are Israelites, bro. Right? This is an Israelite. He's an Israelite from the tribe of Ephraim. Straight up and down, man. Straight up and down. It's an Israelite from the tribe of Ephraim. This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 25, verse 31. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from goats. Now, there ain't going to be a big ass welfare line with all the nations. We just stand in the line. No, the Lord's going to do this via the angels. He's going to have the angels do this, because who are the true sheep in this thing right now? The elect of Israel. Who are the goats? The heathens. And you can put 2/3 of Israel right along with them. So they're going to be separated. But guess what? Them Israelites that die on their side, they're going to come back in their right mind in the kingdom of heaven as brand new babies. And the heathen, they're not going to have no part in this except captivity. Right? Just the book of St. Matthew, chapter 13, verse 36. Then Yahweh Shai sent the multitude away and went to the house of his disciples, and went into the house, and his disciples came unto him, saying, Declare unto us the parable of the tare of the field, of the tares of the field. He answered and said unto them, He that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, right? That starts with the elect of Israel. But the tares are the children of the wicked one, which, the true wicked one in this world is Esau, Edom. The enemy that sold them is the devil. And the devil means adversary. It also means slanderer. And that's who the so-called white man is. The harvest is the end of the world. And the reapers are the angels. So the harvest and the end of the world, which we're in, but it's going to manifest when them angels come. They're gonna get the tares up out of our people. And therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire. So shall it be in the end of this world, right? The tares gonna burn up. The Israelites that are wicked on this side, as well as the nations that are amongst us, but they go on their father's side, they're heathens. Anybody had an Israelite mom, but their father is a heathen, guess what? They're gonna get burnt up, right? The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of the kingdom all things that offend and them which do iniquity, right? And this is at the end of the world. This is that nuclear fire. That fire is that nuclear fire. Okay. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this out. I didn't want to make this too long, but I was definitely inspired by this classic video right here. And yeah, man, this man's an Israelite. So I'm gonna title the lesson is This Man is an Israelite. It was never about appearance, man. And so I'm saying shalom and on to the next.